Hello. It's been called a perfect storm, but in any perfect storm often there are some perfect opportunities as well, despite all the bad news. You only have to look around and see some of the elements that are changing, be it the economy or be it the finances or even people's personal attitudes. It's been called a new normal or a new world order. Basically what happens now is we're going to be seeing a lot more volatility going on as everybody gets used to this new world. So what actually has changed? And the answer is just about everything. So when you think about it, all the technology's changed. Things that we're used to now, whether iPads or planning software or platforms, you just go back 5-10 years ago, a lot of them weren't there in their current form. So that enables us to do so much more. But also the competition's changed. Competition in terms of stockbrokers, banks and other providers, even fund managers, they're going to have to change radically. Some of them won't be around in a few years' time. And of course, the old-fashioned advisors as well. The impact of RDR, the impact of chartered status is going to be fundamental. Raising up the level of professionalism so that it's running pari passu with the lawyers and accountants. But most of all, it's the needs of clients themselves. In fact, all of us, people are frightened, they're worried, they only have to see the news every single day, and the BBC tells them that they should be worried. But should they? What they need is someone to trust. They want some confidence. Another thing that's changed is all the facilities and services, new products, new facilities, ones which are more tailor-made for this sort of environment to survive the perfect storm. That's encouraging. But above all, what really has changed has been the economy. Now, we had 10 years of boom, now we've got 10 years of lean. Now we've got to live in this new world and help people with it overall. So, what do people need most of all? Well, surely there's just one word really, isn't there? It's confidence. Confidence is the one thing we all need to go out and spend things, companies invest things, and so things start changing. Which brings me to the concept of actually what has changed and where the opportunities are. And this to me is the thought about family offices. No, not just the theory of it, but the reality and the practice of it. This is often something which is merely associated with very wealthy European families, but in fact this now applies directly to the glorious British middle class, trying to coordinate themselves with all their assets and their problems across the generations. So when you think about it, what actually is a private bank, and how dangerous have the banks been? It's worth noting, I think, some of the words actually written some time ago about banks and actually what they've done. Here's a quote. I believe that banking institutions are more dangerous to our liberties than standing armies. If the American people ever allow private banks to control the issue of their currency, first by inflation, then by deflation, the banks and corporations that will grow up around the banks will deprive the people of all property and their children till their children wake up homeless on the continent that their fathers conquered. Well, that was 1802. Thank you, Thomas Jefferson. And in fact, that's virtually what happened in America, wasn't it? So with private banks then, I firmly believe that actually what is the difference between what a good professional financial planner can do and a private bank? And the answer is, well, I can see no difference at all. So actually, when you think about what a family office is, it's a coordination of all the facilities and services that a family may need, whether it's in terms of banking, whether it's accounting, legal and investment, of course, coordinated for the family. So what is the difference then between actually having a bank doing it and having a financial planner doing it? And the answer is, I can see no difference at all. I put on this slide, one of the boxes it says, their own need. What I mean here is actually the particular needs for the family. It's not a product, it's actually something special you often find within a family, and it varies very directly indeed. From, say, some people needing the family organisation for education, university education, right the way through to looking after, say, tenanted property when a member of the family dies, taking that over. Or one rather strange example I've come across, looking after the fan mail for somebody because they couldn't do it themselves. These are sort of concierge services which a real private bank certainly would do. There's no reason why a financial planner can't do the same. And of course, once you're doing that, they're not going to go anywhere else because you're providing the perfect rounded service for them and they'll pay you for it handsomely. The key issue, though, is all about planning, proper financial planning. And to me, with a family, being able to make sure you're applying the same disciplines across the family, no matter how dysfunctional that family may be, crossing various generations in all its variations with, these days, all the elements about family separations and remarriages and all the usual complications that we have. So when you think about it, it's a multi-generational family office where we're trying to coordinate the assets. Why? Because we can reduce costs, we can reduce risks, we can actually ensure better capability of getting the returns you need, and there's proper planning across those generations. So applying the same disciplines to a family that you would apply in many ways to a private company. You'd have a business plan. You'd have a balance sheet coordinating the assets and the liabilities, making sure they're not duplicated, and also a cash flow as well, making sure there is sufficient money into the future to be able to look after the needs and requirements for the client. These are absolutely crucial. So actually making sure those same disciplines are there. So what do you actually need to be able to do this? Well, it's the plan, obviously, the cash flow, the balance sheet, but what's the bit that's been missing? Well, quite often it's been the banking products themselves. So things like term deposits and lending facilities, so you can actually coordinate it. So let's look again at what the planners may need to be able to carry out this family office facility. So yes, it's investment services from whatever source, the legal services, the tax advice sourced as well, a proper professional platform facility linking into their financial planning facilities, but then also things like term deposits, lending facilities. So therefore there is no difference between what a private bank can do to that which a professional financial planner can do, except I would say on two counts. One, in terms of a far better service, and probably at a significantly lower cost. And the cost is important because once you're providing these facilities, people will appreciate them and they will pay quite handsomely, but fairly for it as well. So what else do you actually need to be able to do all of this? Well, I would suggest it's a combination of the elements in terms of the proper open architecture platform, the planning software, which you've probably already got linked into it, investment facilities from all over the world linked into that as well, those deposit facilities, lending facilities, and potentially also white labelled if necessary to your own brand if you think that's suitable. Once you've got that, well, what are the negatives? Well, here's a couple of them. One is it takes so much time looking after the clients. What? Isn't that what you want to do? Or we need to get the right people and try and find the right clients. What are the positive elements to it? Well, exactly the opposite. Spending more time with the clients, freed up to be able to do so, providing all the facilities they need, and above all, something that's always close to my heart, dealing with people you like. If you're dealing with people you don't like, chances are your nose is telling you something. So dealing with the right people, and they will actually help you grow your business. They'll refer more people, and it'll be a profitable business, and more important, a longer term business. Therefore, growing the value of your own business. That's what I find so exciting. So, in this world of the perfect storm, here is the perfect opportunity where people actually need that one word, trust, to be able to give them that confidence then. Once they do that and they've got a plan going out over the generations with a balance sheet, with a cash flow, looking after all those elements for the family, they're not going to go anywhere else. They need you, and they need you right now. Good luck. Thank you.